First of all, I don't want to date you if dating me means that you have a huge fetish and you've always wanted to be with someone in a wheelchair just to see what it would be like. I refuse to be somebody's fetish.
Wow, guys, can you believe it? We're already over 20 episodes into Nick Speaks, but here's the truth. I couldn't have done it alone. The amazing team at Goodnight Podcasting Solutions has been with me every step of the way, from those early strategy sessions all the way to editing, promotion, and even helping me land guests. They've made it so all I have to do is show up, record, and focus on delivering the message. Kyle at Goodnight Podcasting Solutions tailors everything to your unique needs and is so creative to give you what you're looking for. But one thing's for sure, he gives 110% to help you create an incredible podcast. So if you've ever thought about starting your own podcast, now's the time. Hit the link in the show notes, set up a strategy session with Kyle, and get ready to take your podcast to the next level. Trust me, you won't regret it.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the latest episode of Nick Speaks, the podcast dedicated to the disabled community, where we speak up, speak out, and speak loud about the issues that matter to the disabled the most. I'm your host, Nicolas Comstock. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. I really appreciate it. This is going to be a great episode. We're going to talk about dating and the disabled. That's what we're going to talk about today. So I'm really looking forward to jumping into today's episode. Of course, figuratively speaking, jumping, because I don't jump. I'm in a wheelchair. Anyway, so just a couple housekeeping notes. I know that was a horrible dad joke. Just deal with it, okay? Just a couple housekeeping notes. You guys, this is a big housekeeping note, so listen up. As of this recording, my YouTube channel at Nicolas Comstock is at 580 subscribers. I am trying to get to 1,000 subscribers on my YouTube channel so that I can monetize my content over there. So if you could do me a huge favor, go hit the subscribe button on my YouTube channel. Make sure to hit the notification bell so we can be well on our way to 1,000 subscribers, which we already are. I just need to get further. So please hit the subscribe button on my YouTube channel. You can also listen to this podcast on Apple Podcast and Spotify. And you guys, if you ever want to be a guest on the Nick Speaks podcast, whether you are a person with a disability just like myself, or you work in the disability field, please email me at nickspeaksofficial@gmail.com. That is turning out to be a really busy email address. I have people requesting that I be on their podcast. And so I'm really glad you guys are taking advantage of nickspeaksofficial@gmail.com. And I love being on your podcast. I have two that I have one that I have been on that's going to come out later this month. I'll let you guys know when that comes out. And then I will be taping another one at the end of this month, and I will let you guys know when that comes out. And I appreciate all the fellow podcasters who invited me on to their podcast. I've had so much fun taping with you guys, and please keep them coming because we need to get more light on people with disabilities. So now on to today's show. As I said, we're talking about dating and the disabled. And what I want to talk about today is how the fear that I have of getting in another relationship. I had a brief relationship for a very brief time back in 2022. And then I had what they call a friends with benefits relationship for a couple years. And what I found out is I feel like people want to be in a relationship with people with disabilities because it makes them look good. It makes them feel better. This might not be a popular opinion to most. I feel like able-bodied people who choose to be in a relationship with somebody who is not able-bodied feels like they have more control over the relationship because the disabled person wants the relationship so bad, will do anything and everything to try to keep that relationship. And a lot of times the able-bodied person feels like they're doing us a service because we want the relationship so bad. So it's good on them because they're dating someone who is disabled. And I don't know if I want that much manipulation in my life. I'm very scared to actually be in a relationship because I don't I don't know what their intentions are going to be. Is it going to be, hey, I'm in this relationship because I really love you, or I'm in this relationship because I know it's the only chance. I believe it's the only chance you have at a relationship, and I'm doing this to make myself look good. Is that the reason? Now, I have to say, I have to come right out and say that I'm still good friends with my ex, and I'm the one that broke up with him. But um, still, there were times where I felt that not necessarily that he was manipulating me, but he was, he had, I felt that he had all the power. He had all the power to withhold romance from me. He had all the power to withhold, communication if he wanted to at one point. Now I want to be clear. I broke up with him, but still, I felt that in the relationship that he had all the power. And I don't want, it's not good for one person in any relationship to feel that they have all the power, they have all the control. A relationship should be 50-50. And if you're someone out there who is not disabled, but you would be willing to be in a relationship with a disabled, I would encourage you to ask yourself, why am I going in this relationship with this particular person? Is it because I have a fetish about being with somebody who is disabled? Is it because I know the person really wants a relationship and it would look good on me because I'm with a disabled person and it's going to make me look good? Or do I really think that this person is awesome regardless of their disability and I want to be with them? Now, I will say that when I met my ex, we met on social media, and to this day, we still really do love each other as friends. And so I don't think my ex had any of those ill intentions. But like with my friends with benefits situation that I had a few years back, I really felt that he did everything in his power to withhold romance from me. And he would remind me of, this is all I've done for you. Well, you're mad at me. At least you can't say that I've never done anything for you. And I really felt like that was the wrong type of power to have. So now I'm really scared to go into a relationship with another person. You say, Nick, would you go into a relationship with a person who has a disability just like you? If they were in a wheelchair, probably not. And I'm just going to say no, because how are we going to be intimate? I know that's a crazy thing to say, and I know that's a crazy thing to ask, but I'm not, I'm not, I'm not able to be intimate without help. So how is another person in a wheelchair and how are two people in a wheelchair going to be intimate together? I'm sure it's possible. And I'm sure those of you who are out there saying, Nick, a relationship is not all about intimacy. I know that. Okay, let's take it from another standpoint. If I date someone else in a wheelchair, how are we going to be able to physically take care of each other? We're not. So, and again, there's other, severities. The person that I might date in a wheelchair may be able to get up and do things and may just need to have a wheelchair to do long distance. They may be able to get up and walk short distances, or they may be able to put themselves in a shower and all that stuff. But still, it's just not something. Dating someone else in a wheelchair is not something that I'm interested in. And again, I think it comes up to that stereotype. Oh, just because I'm in a wheelchair, that must mean that I only want to date people in wheelchairs. And that's not the case. I'm going to be honest. I want somebody that can pick me up and throw me around. Now, I will be honest and say that you have to be a bodybuilder because I'm 257 pounds. I'm a pretty big dude. So you have to be able to pick me up and throw me around and move me around safely. And you know what? Personal care is another big issue when it comes to dating. I've made the joke several times on my TikTok about, hey, if I marry somebody, if I have a partner, yeah, they would have to do the personal care, but after the personal care, we could turn that into romance. Here's the thing. I don't want my future wife or my future partner to feel that they are a nurse 24/7. And I feel that that's how my partner would feel, is if they are taking care of a child, they are taking care of a baby. So, which I'm not a baby, but if you're having to change briefs and wipe another person's butt, that's to be expected. Like, say, if you've been married for 10 years and all of a sudden your husband or wife is in a terrible accident, now they need you to be their personal care person. That's what you said in your wedding vows, for better, for worse, for richer, for poorer. But to expect somebody to do that right off the bat, I don't think it's fair. And I don't think they want to be labeled as, oh, that's your helper or that's your nurse. I would think that the person in the relationship that is able-bodied would want to just be looked at as, no, I'm in a relationship with this person. I'm not just their nurse. I'm not just their caregiver. We really love each other. And I feel like that is, something that able-bodied people struggle with, is that they feel like all the responsibility of the relationship is on them, which in turns, a lot of the manipulation tactics. Well, I'm doing everything. I'm bringing in all the money. I'm, giving you all the romance. I'm physically taking care of you. So yeah, that's why I have all the power. And I don't know if I want to put myself through that again. I don't know if I want to give somebody that much power again. Another thing is that, trying to find somebody to date is really difficult for me as a disabled person. I went online several times and tried to find somebody to date. And all it is scammers out there looking to take money. And I don't know what it is, but as soon as I put that I'm disabled in my profile and I'm honest about it, people start coming out of the woodwork because apparently being disabled automatically means that you're rich. And so they start asking you for money. And this is a tip that I give you, disabled people. If someone starts asking you for money on a dating app immediately, even if you exchange numbers and you see the person's face, do not give them money. I had to put in one of my dating profiles one time, I am not an ATM. I'm on a very fixed income. And I'm sorry that I had to put that in there because I feel that that turns a lot of people off. And I understand why some disabled people are not honest in their profile about being disabled. Because if we tell someone we're disabled right away, then we don't have a chance. Because, like I said, they think they're doing us a service by dating someone who is disabled. And dating someone who is disabled is not a service. It should be a choice. And first of all, I don't want to date you if dating me means that you have a huge fetish and you've always wanted to be with someone in a wheelchair just to see what it would be like. I refuse to be somebody's fetish. That's another thing that irritates me. And another reason why I choose to stay away from online dating is last year I was using Facebook dating, and there was this beautiful black man. I'm going to be honest. Okay. There was this beautiful black man. He had a beautiful photo. He had his hat on backwards, and it said he was 31, but that's all it said. So we started talking back and forth online. We exchanged numbers, and I tried to call him. He didn't answer the phone when I tried to call him. He was like, I have something to tell you. I said, what's that? He goes, I'm not actually 31, I'm 17. And so be really, really careful, and be rest assured that as soon as I found out he was 17, I cut off everything. And I called my local police and I let them know that this is what happened. So I don't know why people feel the need to get online and scam people. I'm not saying that this is significant to people with disabilities, but I feel like once people found out that I'm disabled, they felt the need to try and take money from me. They felt the need to be extra manipulative. And I'm just not here for that. I'm here to find real love. And you guys have noticed that I've said that my ex was a man and all that. And my friends with benefits was also a man. And I was in a couple homosexual relationships. I'm going to be honest. I've struggled with my sexuality since I was like 14 years of age. I still struggle with it to this day. I'm at a point now where I believe in my faith that homosexual relationship is not something that my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ wants me to be in. So now I am praying for a beautiful chocolate woman to come into my life, and I'm hoping that that'll happen. I still have struggles with wanting homosexual desires, but I know that my God is bigger than that homosexual desire. So I just want to put that out there as well for those of you who may comment and say, I thought you were a Christian, and here you are talking about, you were in a homosexual relationship. Yes, I was. I made that mistake, and who knows? I may make that mistake again. I hope I do not. It's something that I fight against literally every day. But I just wanted to come out and be honest with that as well, because I know some of you in the comments may ask that when you hear me talking about, being with an ex-boyfriend. But yeah, I just want people with disabilities to be careful, because you should have as much say as when you give romance or receive romance. You should have that much say in the relationship as well. And you're not a charity case. You are someone who is looking for love just like everybody else. And that's how disabled people should be treated. And unfortunately, I feel like I have not been treated that way in some cases. Like I said, my ex-boyfriend was wonderful and still is a wonderful guy. But I feel at some point, especially with my friends with benefits situation, that was a totally different guy. That I was extremely manipulated, and it was just given off to me being said, just be glad I'm here, because there's not a lot of people that want to date people with disabilities. Well, who died and made you God? I'm sorry. I would hope that there's a lot of people out there that want to date people with disabilities, not because it's a fetish, not because they've always been interested with somebody with a disability, but because the person with the disability has a personality that the person who is looking to date the person with a disability can't live without. And I would hope that there's a lot of people out there that's able to look past the physical disability of someone and say, you know what, this guy or this gal is an incredible person. And I would love to talk with this person. And I would love to spend my life with this person. And I would love to invest with this person, no matter what their disability is. I love the person for who they are. It doesn't matter to me that they have a disability. So that's what I'm hoping to find in my future wife, and my future partner in life. So yeah, I just wanted to share that thing about dating today. I feel like there's a lot of people who won't date people with disabilities because they're just scared. But then there's a lot of people who would, only because, number one, it's a fetish, and number two, they feel like they can have control over them because they feel like they would turn into the person with the disabilities nurse or the person with the disabilities caregiver. And I don't want that. And I know that there's a lot of people out there who don't want that. And I'll just say, just in case my future wife is listening, yes, you will be responsible for a lot of my care, but I still intend to have caregivers and have them take care of me. So all that burden will not be placed on you, because it is a burden to take care of someone with a disability. But if you really love the person with the disability, you don't look at what you're doing for them as a burden. And you don't look at them as a burden. But be rest assured, it is a burden. But if you love the person with a disability, it's a burden you don't mind carrying. And so, just for my future wife out there, I'm looking for you. And I'm into chocolate women. And you have to be a little bit chunky, because I love a woman who can cook or find me something good to eat. And skinny women don't really know how to do that. So I just want to put that out there. But anyway, this is probably going to be a little bit shorter podcast than normal, because I don't really have a lot more to say, other than I'm just really, like I said at the beginning, I'm really scared to be in another relationship, because I feel like one person would have all the power, and I'm not willing to give up any power to anybody except Jesus Christ. And so that's why I'm afraid to get in a relationship with anybody. And after that teenager tried to hook up with me, I'm like, I'm totally done with online dating. So to be honest with you, uh, if I find somebody, they're going to have to be at an event that I'm at, or we're going to have to meet. They're going to have to be locally, because I'm not doing the online dating thing anymore. Not after what happened with that. That was just craziness. And believe you me, when I found out he was 17 and not 31, and I appreciate the fact that he was honest about it, I chewed him out, and I'm like, I'm blocking you. And I told him, I was like, I'm calling the police. And I gave him, and the thing is, the guy sent me real pictures of himself after he told me he was 17, and he looked like he was 12. So I don't even think he was 17. But I sent it to the police, and I said, this is what this guy tried to do. I'm on Facebook dating, just trying to find friends, maybe a future boo thing. And the police officer was like, yeah, this happens all the time. So my number one tips for disabled people on dating is don't give money to somebody that you barely know online. And and another tip is don't send pictures of your situation to somebody that you haven't even physically met yet. Don't send pictures of your situation to people online, because I've done that too. And that's not something to be proud of. And you should probably not send pictures of your situation to anybody, period, even if you're married to them, because that's just, once the photo's out there, the photo's out there. So I would also say that don't send nudes to anybody. I've never sent nudes to anybody, but I have sent pictures of my situation out there, which shouldn't have happened. But anyway, so just be very cautious and don't lend anybody money that you've never met, particularly if you're disabled and you're on a fixed income like me. Don't lend any money to anybody, period, because you're on a fixed income and you can't afford it. So, and if people want to try to manipulate, you would be like, well, my account's an overdraft and I really need $100. Well, then I'm sorry. Maybe you should be better financially responsible and stop getting your account in overdraft. I'm sorry. I don't have $100 to give you. I'm on a fixed income trying to figure out where my next meal is coming from. So yeah, don't lend money to people that you don't know online. Don't send pictures of your situation. And quite frankly, I wouldn't do online dating if you're disabled. I mean, I know it's hard for people with disabilities to get out, but to stay safe, my disabled friends, don't do online dating. It's just a nightmare. I don't even know why online dating. I mean, I guess it's a good thing. If you've done online dating and you're a disabled person and it's been successful for you, contact me. I would love to have you come on my show and talk about the tips and tricks and the things that you did to make it work for you, because it hasn't worked for me. And plus, if you are an able-bodied person and you're in a relationship with a disabled person, I would love to have you come on the show and talk about your relationship and how you found each other, and what has made it work for you. So I want to throw that out there too. I want to continue with this topic of disabled and dating, because a lot of able-bodied people think that it's taboo for someone with a disability to want to be in a relationship. And really, it's just something we want, just like the rest of you who are not disabled. So it's not really taboo. It's taboo to you, but it's not taboo to us. And so I would really like to continue this conversation. So if you're interested to talk more about disabled and dating, email me at nickspeaksofficial@gmail.com, and we will potentially talk about you coming on the show and talking about your disabled dating experiences. All right, guys, I hope this episode was a great help today. Sorry if it was all over the place, but I just wanted to share my feelings about being scared to jump into another relationship. And I really want to hear from you, so let me know what you think. Thanks, guys, for listening. This is the Nick Speaks podcast, where we speak up, speak out, and speak loud about the issues that matter to the disabled the most. I will see you next week. Bye-bye.